All right, this
No, this
is season 2, episode 8, The Mind Flayer. Uh, are you at timestamp 0, Roberto?
I am.
In 3, 2, 1, play. And I remember
And
the
like I
timer.
said, with that 11 episode, I've only ever watched it with other people, which helps. It makes it like, but if I'm ever rewatching the show just by myself, yeah, I'm probably skipping that. And hey, now we're gonna resolve that cliffhanger thing.
Ugh.
And I think this has some of the best tension in the whole show. Like this is just a scary episode, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, Hopper, get out of there. This is when you leave. It's 6 inches of glass. It ain't getting through. So this episode is very aliens. It's also very Jurassic Park, right? Like with the raptors.
I can see that.
And this is why Dustin shouldn't have turned on Dart. You know, they could have had a pet Demodog ally, and he turned his back on him, John. That's why
No,
you
so
don't turn your back on your pet.
I do remember this episode. And you're right. This might be a top 10 episode for me, too.
It's really good. And gets a lot of good carnage. Like, because I think of this as kind of a family friendly-ish show, or like a good gateway horror show for kids, but there is some rough stuff.
Yeah.
Most 5-year-olds shouldn't be watching this, but you would have. And this is where the drama and dilemma with Will really kicks in of like, no, we have to make him go to sleep. You know, we can't trust him, and that's, you know, awful and scary.
I love that little attention to detail of Mike going like this.
Mhm.
I've been that kid.
Yeah. It's just like, he's gonna need some therapy. Maybe that's one of the far-fetched elements of seasons 3 and 4 is a lot of these kids really should be getting therapy by that point, but they're fine.
Yeah, I think
Except
that's
for Max, because we do some,
yeah,
but
I
there's a
think
reason for that.
that is
Before.
an issue with the show is characters kind of pretend the last season didn't happen in the next season. I have that with Steve really bad in all 3 of these. Or all 4, I guess, at this point. Like in 4, he should be a little bit of a mess. He was tortured.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And that's one thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Dustin in the final season, because we get there when we get there. He's the one character though who doesn't go through a lot of serious personal trauma until
Until season 4.
the end of 4 is the first time. That's the first time we really scar him directly and kind of mess up. And I hope they explore that stuff well in 5.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had as much direct tragedy as a lot of these other characters have had.
This is also Bob's last episode, right?
It is.
R.I.P. Bob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the third of the bees to be taken out.
Wait, Barbara.
Benny.
Who the hell's Benny?
No one He's the diner guy.
Oh
Who gets killed by
yeah.
Little Evan in like the first episode. Everyone forgets justice for Barb, but fuck Benny. Benny can rot for most people watching this show.
I mean,
I
I
hate
don't
fans
care
of the
about
show.
Barb either.
So yeah, it's Benny, Barbara, it's Benny, Barb, Bob, Billy. We got 4 in a row.
Try saying that 5 times
Alexei
fast.
fucks up. Benny, Barb, Bob, Billy. It's like, hey, look, we're checking back in with other subplots again. I forgot about Billy.
I love this song. This is Metallica, The Four Horsemen.
Nice.
Yeah, their debut album is underrated. Kind of interesting though that he also have a Metallica song for him.
But I do like this scene a lot because Billy's dad is pretty awful, and unfortunately, there are a lot of parents like this. And I always appreciate when you just get these little insights, like, oh, this is why he is the way he is. Got it. It doesn't excuse his actions; it just makes him less one-dimensional. And as much as Billy is in the wrong, there is a degree of frustration you can understand because he has been watching Max this whole time. So now he's like, fuck off, I want to go on a date. But to Kareem Montgomery, like, he really sells the scene. Like, no, he is scared of his father. And we almost, like, he starts to break down crying. It feels very authentic without going too over the top.
Yeah, like why are you being such a dick? Just let your kid go out and have some fun.
And to be fair, his younger sister is missing. It makes sense that they would want him to go find her.
Well, but I mean, even that
it's
was
like they're both in the wrong.
She's 13. Like, let her go out and have some fun.
No, I just see it as they're both in the wrong, and the mom's just kind of stuck. But like I said, I think he really sells the scene. Like you can tell he's starting to cry, but it's very believable. He doesn't overdo it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's wrong for a teenager to want to go out and have fun. He shouldn't be responsible for his sister all the time. And so what if Max goes out with some friends? Like,
well, I mean, granted, that was more common in the 80s, but in 2024, that doesn't fly. We don't let kids go out in the middle of the night anymore. Rightfully so, probably. Steve, you outed Dustin. You jerk. I still think with proper training and conditioning, they could have had a pet Demodog in Dart, and it would have been awesome. Dart
is just like, I am so done with these kids.
It's so good. He's got the bat still. This would be a good time for me to mention. I said on the last one that I got a Steve Funko Pop for my friend for Christmas, and here it is. So I'm holding on this till December.
So cool.
It's the best look. Like he's got the glasses. He's got the bat behind him. I mean, you can't tell, but so good.
That's
Although
perfect.
this wave is weird, it's great. One of them is Hopper with the vines around him.
Why?
Has anyone thought this? Why would you make that? Like, I like Hopper. I'm not buying that one. That's in a landfill somewhere, I'm sure. But this looks awesome.
That does look cool. I don't really like Pops just because, like, none of them look like the character. It's just really generic with the clothes. But that is cool.
They put a lot more detail into them than they used to. Like, look at Funko Pops for like 2012, 2013. They look so cheap and basic. Like, they're all the exact same mold, just with different paint. Like, I held off on starting to collect those for 6 or 7 years, and rightfully so, because they looked real cheap at the start. And the ones that I get, like, are the ones with a bit more detailed or specific.
Yeah, for sure. But no, this is gonna have the Dustin and Steve and Billy fight too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it should, because we're in the penultimate episode now. And even though it's his last one, I do like the Bob stuff a lot.
No, I like Bob.
This is his moment to shine. This is just insane because I don't think Bob has ever seen a dead body before in his life. So this has got to be a very surreal experience. I mean, maybe his parents died or had dead relatives, but not everyone does open casket funerals. I don't know if he's ever had to touch a corpse before.
Yeah, Jonathan, maybe if you'd been here, you would know what's going on. Oh, this is a great moment.
Steve?
That's why.
I vote we all get out of Hawkins. Yeah, for me, up to this point, I think this is the episode with the most tension.
No, this is great.
You want to play a game, Bob? Oh, and that's a direct Jurassic Park callback with following the pipes. Try to get to the power.
I'd like to see Sean Astin in more horror stuff. He's really good. He's unfortunately in Cabin Fever 3.
Oh no.
That movie's not very good, if you can believe it.
I've yet to see a Cabin Fever. Should I just see the first and stop?
No, I would say watch 2. 2 is interesting because it's Ty West, but he had his name removed.
Oh, okay.
3 is
weird. So
weird.
Yeah, so Eli, the first one's the only one that Eli Roth does,
and the remake.
Oh, weird.
I don't know if he actually directs it, but like it's literally just using his script. They didn't rewrite it.
Weird.
No, that is his shot-for-shot remake.
That's bizarre. That is not a franchise I'm very familiar with. So do they stop at 3 and then do the
remake? 3 has one of the most hilarious because it's about a flesh-eating virus. So they have 2 women that have been infected and like they're down to basically nothing, fighting each other and like ripping each other's guts out. It's so weird. But 2 is all right. It's the same premise, just in his high school, and he gets some really nasty, like he gets a blowjob from an infected girl, so that's where it starts.
I love this. You did it, Dustin. You opened the gate. He didn't do anything. Now, this episode has some really good comedy relief without like deflating the tension.
Don't leave your gun.
And the CGI on the Demodogs, I know. They didn't have to do that. It's a little silly, but he's not a gun guy. It's a tense situation. It's not the worst leap.
Hopper, I know you're a big, strong guy. You're not firing that M16 with one hand.
Arnold can do it.
Arnold, are you talking about a Terminator or?
No, there's a shot of Predator where he's walking holding one, which is like the worst way you can hold that gun. But who cares? Because it looks cool. And I like this stuff a lot with Paul Reiser's character, like watching the monitors and trying to guide them through. It's a good bit of self-sacrifice for him, even though he does survive.
Yeah, no, this is all really cool. If you can believe it. I like things about this season.
Like I said, I think it starts strong and ends strong.
So this is only tangentially related, but I was watching more Talkville today, and they had Schneider on there, who ranges from I kind of feel bad to you, dude. You're kind of full of yourself. Talking about he was directing an episode, but he was shooting it at the same time as the episode where Clark and Lex are in that like kryptonite water for memories. And they had to take one of the actors. I think it was Tom. So he had to shoot it. You know how like we'll shoot some scenes where it's clearly they're on the same room, but you go back and forth. So he had to do that, and I got mad at him, wouldn't let him do any more episodes because he did that. But like he didn't have access to both actors.
Yeah, sounds stressful. It's insane. I mean, because people ask like, "Oh, why is old TV so dated?" or whatever. It's like because we shot 22. or more episodes a year, and they'd have a week to do it per episode. Like, it's insane. And now we flip too far in the other direction, where we take way too much time on way too little. Like, no, there should be a balance.
Run, Bob, run.
You can do it. And like I said, I think CGI here holds up.
Yeah. But also in that same sentence, he was like, "Oh, I didn't think they were doing me a favor letting me direct an episode. I thought I was doing them a favor." Come on, come on. Oh
No.
he's fine. It's just a flesh wound. Oh God. I can't deal with the teeth.
And this, ugh, it's messed up. I do appreciate that the Demodogs are still bulletproof. You know, they're still a pretty significant threat.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bob.
I like that we're able to do this without throwing Hopper under the bus, because he does try to save him, but it's when he realizes that they're bulletproof and sees more coming is when he knows, oh, I can't do anything. You have to leave. It's a great, tragic situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just get out of Hawkins. This is not our problem anymore. Let everyone die.
Everyone's together now.
This is the formula. You split everyone up and then bring them back together for the finale. Sorry, Bob.
If I have one complaint with season 3, I do kind of wish the split ups had been a little different. Like, yeah, I like Dustin and Steve, but wouldn't it be cool if like Mike was with them or Will was with them?
And I do like the body horror stuff in season 3. I do like that we get away from the Demogorgon.
Yeah.
And then again, the thing people complain about is, oh, it's just Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Oh, it's just the thing. I'm like, come on. Like, you ask for something different, it does something a little different. It's not just the Demogorgon.
So something I've noticed, they pay it off. If Steve has a tell when he's upset, he goes like this. And he just did it there because he just realized they're together. And that's how he finds out.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like, though, that we get to spend a minute mourning Bob.
Because that is a payoff from the Halloween party, because when he's walking out, he does the same thing.
No, it's great when actors have little tells like that.
Oh, yeah. He still doesn't know.
Oh, no, we're at Joyce's house.
Oh, okay. But no, the thing about it, he still doesn't know that 11's gone.
Yep.
That's absurd.
It is, but also remember, this is all like 2 to 3 days.
I don't believe she got from Hawkins to Chicago and back in 3 days. But I also don't know where Hawkins is supposed. I don't know where Hawkins is in relative to any other Indiana city, because they never mention it.
Well, remember, she's still there when she has that vision of Hopper like in the facility when the Demodogs are coming. So yeah, like how long is that bus ride?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where this is in relative to other cities in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm
when
gonna
I'm a
find
kid
out.
growing up, my family though growing up, like my dad's hardcore when it comes to like cross country like road trips. Like uh we could go from like California to Virginia in like 3 or 4 days. Like we did
Okay.
not we usually drove instead of taking a plane or something.
Okay, so it's 80 miles outside of Indy.
Oh, okay, that's not much.
Well, Indy's in the middle. That still doesn't tell me where it is, but at least you have something.
I like this scene a lot. This is one of the things that made season one really special or really connect with people is how these kids use Dungeons and Dragons to rationalize stuff and explain stuff. And this kind of I like that we're getting back to that, where the show doesn't literally make Dungeons and Dragons part of the Hawkins lore or part of the Demogorgon upside down lore. It's just how the kids explain things or make sense of stuff. It's a little silly that by season 4 we still have so many equivalencies, but it's fine. Again, it's part of what gives the show its charm. And I like that Hopper's like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's a kid's game. And Dustin's like, it's a manual. It's a metaphor.
No, it's an analogy.
An analogy. This is great.
Oh, Steve.
Hopper's reactions are the best in scenes like this. This is absurd. We are all going to die. That's great. That's really great. Jesus. This is the best. Oh, you use fireballs to. Yeah, we don't have that. It's just a game. I wish we got more Dustin and Hopper scenes because they have good banter with each other.
Yeah.
It's just a game.
It is kind of a shame he's always stuck with Joyce.
Mm-hmm. Or in Russia.
Tool shed.
Worth shed. And this is very kind of reminiscent of season 1 with 11 when they have to like do the makeshift like bath or whatever. What's it called? They had a name for it.
Okay, Robert, I'm just going to apologize in advance, but I have to complain one more time.
Okay.
Hold on.
Are we at that scene?
We're at that scene.
It's a real trouble.
And Nancy's giving him a compliment.
That's not what I'm going to complain about. Oh, I guess we're gonna cut back.
Like I said, I'm final. We'll wrap up our thoughts on the Jonathan Nancy subplot with this episode. But for me, I get just final addendum to that is we should have either broken up Nancy and Steve properly before doing that adventure with Nancy and Jonathan, or this should be when they break up, when Steve puts together what has to happen. Like, we should have Steve break up with Nancy if you want to give her a consequence that she can't have both of them, and that Steve's the one who ends it. That would have been stronger than what we.
Yeah.
And Dustin's great in this scene when it's a very humble moment for him when he realizes that Max just isn't into him, and he tells Lucas like, "Nah, there's something between you two. And I'm gonna stop trying." Like, it's a really sad moment, but a really good one. Shows a lot of maturity for his character. And like I said, I like this setup. It's what I was trying to think of was the sensory deprivation tank or whatever.
No, yeah, that's cool.
And it's clever. It's a clever plan of, okay, when they figure out what the Mind Flayer's weakness is, right? Like, it's in Will. The problem is it only knows and sees what Will knows, so they have to make it not know where it is. Like, that's really clever.
Yeah. I do think this show ends with Will dying. It ends where it began.
I really hope not. Especially if they kill Jonathan. I want Will that ending.
Yeah.
You can't kill both of Joyce's kids.
Oh, but you can.
Also, what you were just saying about it ending where it begins, do we think we give 11 another self-sacrifice and kill her for real at the show? Or do you think the show doesn't kill
11? I think it's possible we kill her, but then there'll be like, oh, maybe she's still out there somewhere.
That would be annoying, but it's possible. I don't know. I think most of the kids are safe. Like, I don't think we're gonna get a high body count, but like, with Joyce and Hopper, I feel like you either kill one of them or you kill both. Or sorry, I feel like they both live or they both die. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be one or the other. Because we've already had Joyce lose Hopper. We've already gone through that, and then she gets him back. I don't think they just flip that or do that again.
I could see them being taken out, because at the end of the day, this is about the kids and the younger adults.
It's about the next generation. Yeah.
The kids are old enough now that they can deal with whatever.
And I don't think they're going to kill Steve. He's too popular. And if they were going to do that, I think they would have done that.
People would riot.
They would.
Shut up.
Like I said, if I was plotting out season 5, I would kill Jonathan somewhere in the first half of the season just to show that the stakes are high and that we finally took out a season 1 character, and then like by the end we might.
My biggest worry is they're not going to have the balls to do anything like daring.
Mm-hmm.
Just give us a trailer. I need to see what we're looking at.
And Noah Schnapp's really good in these scenes. Like, this is heavy, intense stuff for a kid to be doing.
No, he's great. Which is why it's a shame that this is the last time he's important to the show.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I think, one of Winona Ryder's best scenes.
I forgot she was in Star Trek 09.
She was in Star Trek 09. She's Spock's mom.
You're Spock's mom.
Yay. Yeah, in the mid-2000s, Winona Ryder has a weird career just because, she had some controversies, she had some personal issues, so she just kind of got weird roles like that. And then this is her big comeback.
Yeah. No, because I remember when this show was announced, I was like, oh, Winona Ryder's in? I haven't heard that name in forever. Obviously, I'm a big Edward Scissorhands fan.
And now she's back in Beetlejuice 2.
On the PS2. You know what my biggest problem with that movie is, just on a concept? There is not a world where I believe this woman gave birth to Jenna Ortega.
It depends on who the father is. I don't think that's an issue at all.
I don't know. I think Jenna Ortega just reads a stunt casting.
Well, yeah, like, it's obvious casting, it's because she's Wednesday, but no, like, especially for, like, what Winona Ryder is in the first Beetlejuice movie, they're going for that vibe, and Jenna Ortega is the actress to get for that.
Yeah. I just haven't had them related.
I don't know, like, again, it just depends on who the father is, but I could buy it.
I mean, $10 says they will not address that.
Probably not.
What if the father is from Beetlejuice? I still need to see that movie, Heathers.
Me too.
Oh, she's in a movie called Girl Interrupted, but directed by James Mangold.
Oh. And this is a great Mike scene. Talking about, like, when him and Will became best friends. This is really good stuff.
Why do they have the same haircut? It looks like they both have the bowl cut. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's authentic to the time. Yeah, we let Mike's hair evolve over time. We keep giving Will that stupid bowl cut, and the justification is, well, Joyce cuts his hair. It's like, Jonathan's hair looks better. That's not an excuse.
Yeah, except for in season 4 where he lets it grow out and it looks really dumb.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. All I know about Stranger Things season 5 is that they let Will have a different haircut, and thank God. Thank God we're finally there.
It gets really bad in 4. It does not fit really him anymore.
Mm-hmm. It works in 3 because he's still in that really awkward phase and he's still adjusting. Do you like the Morse code payoff, or do you find it silly?
That's fine.
That Will would know Morse code.
That's fine. They're radio geeks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird. I forgot there was such a gap between Steve and Nancy scenes. I like that we bring this
more
back.
Important stuff going on. Yeah, this is a good callback. Like I said, this episode gets a lot done.
Yeah, no, this is all great. I mean, at this point, you should be able to figure out what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Close gat. What is a gat?
Uh-oh.
And I like that the phone is what tips it off. And it's consistent, you know, like the Mind Flayer has been and will in this house before, so. You know, it makes sense. Yeah, knock him out. Just hit him in the head with a mallet.
That is a little convenient here. He just hears a random phone ringing.
No, I think it works.
Well, but like Steve said, it could be any phone in the country or the state.
But it's the Mind Flayer, and it's been in Will. Like again, it's been here before. It's
Oh,
that
yeah,
phone.
that's true.
And I mean, like process of elimination. It's like at some point the Mind Flayer would have figured out, like, oh, maybe I should send the Nimodogs to Will's house. Like that was gonna happen at some.
Yeah. So this thing with Nancy and guns will become absurd by season 4, where she has guns in her bedroom.
It's the 80s.
How did she get those past her parents? How did she get approved to buy one? How did she get the money for it?
I buy her having a gun. That's pretty plausible.
Yeah, but she has
So
guns, plural.
Also, as we see, like, her parents are very oblivious. They're not going through her stuff, trying to figure out what's going on in her personal life. Steve's got the bat again.
Look, that slingshot ain't gonna do shit, my man.
It's his signature weapon. He's gonna use it.
Oh yeah, this is the badass 11 entrance.
Woo.
Holy shit.
The gang's all back together. Yeah,
I didn't need the slow-mo.
No, they drag it out too long. But we didn't even get the Steve and Nancy scene you hate.
Yeah, I shocked at that. I thought it was right there.
So yeah, still a top 10 episode for me.
Why is Nancy like shocked? Does she even know this girl?
Yeah, she saw 11.
I mean, she saw her, but like
that's not something you forget about.
Oh, shut up, Mike.
What? Although, again, Mike and Nancy, like, for being siblings, like, they have really funny banter sometimes. I wish we gave them more scenes together. Sometimes I forget that Mike and Nancy are siblings because they hardly ever have screen time together. And there are some potentially interesting conversations you could have that I kind of wish we got.
So the main thing that I really reminds me of that they're siblings is they are consistent with both of them have trouble expressing their feelings.
Right.
Because the whole thing with season 4 with Mike and 11 is that he can't say I love you, which is the same issue that Nancy's having this season with Steve.
But one more episode to go.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do all season 3, I think. Episode 9, The Gate, which is the name of an 80s horror film.
I was about to bring that up. Have you seen it?
A long time ago. It's pretty good, from what I remember.
All right.
Now watch. We'll review it at some point. I'll be like, this was terrible. What was I smoking?
Do you think that title's a callback or just a coincidence?